Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Blessed is the one who finds wisdom, and the one who gets understanding. For the gain from her is better than the gain from silver, and her profit is better than gold. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? The fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, the fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord, fear of the Lord is the beginning of understanding. The fear of the Lord is understanding, understanding. Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way? Does not wisdom come? Does not understanding raise her voice on the heights beside the way?
Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday. It's Brad
And I'm
for the
Christa.
Big Family Homestead. I got to tell you, it's been far too long since we have had good news days, the live events.
It's been ages.
Boy, oh boy, it kind of feels like there's not enough good news in the world.
No, there is not enough good news in the world.
But we have scoured the internet. We have viewed into the palantir that is the news cycle.
And it took hours to do it too.
Well, we have got some good news stories that we want to share with you, and we're going to do that. We got 4 good news stories that are true, and they really happened. And I got to tell you what, though, here's the deal. The more that you interact, the more that you say hi. Matter of fact, go ahead and say hi. Where are you from? It can just even be a continent. If you don't want to share your actual address, that's fine, because I wouldn't share my address either. But
No.
where are you from? Say hi. Give a thumbs up. That does help. Well, it helps a lot because the YouTube algorithm says, oh, these people are enjoying what they're seeing. We should let other people know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
while we wait for just a few minutes for other folks to get in, because we're stalling.
A little bit. We're stalling just
Go.
a little bit. With what?
Tell them. You know, that thing.
He's making this up.
No, for good news around our place. Good news around our place, actually, as we do have a new baby around.
We do. There is a new baby around. It is a 4-legged version
Of the animals
of
in our
the
house.
animals in our house. Not a 2-legged version of baby. We have a little lamb.
Yep.
Yeah, and
We
he's really, really cute.
Yeah, we're
And there was a comment on the video the other day saying, it looks like Christa really likes those sheep. No, I really don't.
I do.
I'm glad you like the
love 'em.
sheep. I couldn't give 2 shakes of a lamb's tail for them.
Well, tell them why we got them.
We got them as to pass on to other families
It's
to
our-
help
it's our
grow.
Hebrew starter
it's
kit.
our Hebrew starter kit, right? Exactly. And yes, Shri, I love the babies. That's the thing. The babies are so adorable, but as they grow up, they become adults, and then not so much.
Oh, they're nice.
Yes, of course they're nice, but like I said, if we didn't have the sheep, I would be just as happy. I'd probably be a little happier, but yeah, they're grass maggots. That's not going to ever change for
She's
me.
full of bitterness,
No,
rage, malice,
no, just
anger.
no rage, no malice. Just not
Well,
a fan.
this
Just like you're not a fan of having the horses.
I don't mind the horses.
Just kidding.
I like the horses.
No, just kidding.
Wow. Boy, my mom used to say you're full of piss and vinegar. I don't know what that means, but
Probably.
it does not sound good.
It's probable. Yeah, no, it is definite. Yeah, full of piss and vinegar.
So here's the deal with the Hebrew starter kit. And it's not a negative, it's a positive
No, it's
thing.
totally positive.
It's to help friends and family and other people that we may come into acquaintance with, help feed their families. And I got this idea from Bear Independent down there in Oklahoma or wherever their secret location is. But it was his idea, and I thought it was a great idea. He's raising up flocks of sheep to gift to other people with no money involved.
Yep.
And they will get a ram and 2 ewes. And the idea is that they raise up those ram and 2 ewes, and then they make more rams and 2 ewes. They keep what they need and enough to keep going, but they also gift a ram and 2 ewes to other people.
Yep.
So that they can do the same thing.
Yep.
So I love it. And these sheep are, my eye caught PC Ken was like wood, wool, and textiles. Well, yes, but for meat is the main reason, so people can feed their families. Because I don't know about wherever you live, but it's getting really expensive here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they are a very easy.
They're hair sheep.
Well, yeah, no, that wasn't where I was going. They're a very easy livestock to raise. Sheep are so easy. I mean, we rarely. I mean, we give them hay, they get water, and they get alfalfa as a treat. You know, just kind of as a treat. But we give that to them every day. And so it's a very easy. Not as. They're a very easy flock to raise.
Low maintenance.
Very low maintenance.
Yeah.
The rams, at least our rams, I know a lot of people have said, how are your rams not knocking you over? Well, from the time we got them, we would pet them, and we would never ever pet them on their head.
It's like a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's an instinct for them to butt heads. But yeah, that we were told when we got the sheep, don't scratch the rams on their heads because that's their instinct. So we've always scratched them on their chin or behind their head, behind on their neck, that
That's
kind
how
of
I
thing.
like it.
Yeah.
That's how I like it.
Yeah. But that's how our rams are actually super, super gentle with us. And of course with each other. However, there's, the occasional bloody fight.
You know what's really funny though specifically about the rams is we have a small cow, a steer, out in that same pasture because he was getting picked on by the full-size cows that are no longer there.
Well, he was also drinking off both of our milk cows.
There's that. So he got bounced to sheep land.
Yeah.
Because he's bigger than the sheep. He's got to be, 700 pounds by now?
Easy, but he's short.
He's small.
Yeah.
So he butts heads with the sheep, and they love it.
Oh, yeah.
They go back and forth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's
And
funny.
He just kind of stands there and maybe leans in a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't actually back up. He
doesn't have to do much.
It's really funny because rams, they, you know, how I don't know if you guys have seen them. If you have rams, you would know. But they back up, they back up, they back up,
And then go.
wham! But then if one of the rams is doing this kind of thing with our goat, Petunia, the ram will back up, and the goat will just stand there, and then she will lift up and knock him in the head.
And bang.
Yeah, and I've seen her head. She gets bloody spots on her head too, but that's what they're meant to do. They're not being mean. They're just playing.
Stubborn old goat.
Yeah, she really
That's where
is.
the term comes from.
Yeah. So
Hey, Diane from Kenosha.
very cool.
All right.
But anyway, the sheep are great. I
love the sheep.
I like my cows.
Anyway, that's why we have them.
That's
why we have them. It's the Hebrew
that whole
starter
long
kit.
story. Just to,
No, that's good. That's good. Because honestly, it is pay it forward. Like I saw Shree was saying. So it is like pay it forward. That's exactly the whole idea.
Yeah.
Is truthfully, we don't need the meat for ourselves because we raise cows for that purpose.
Yep.
But we want to be a blessing to others, and we know how hard things are getting.
Well, and if we had to, we would eventually keep
share,
lambs,
but
and we would share. We would keep a few lambs and process those.
Yeah.
But Petunia, Sherry was asking, Petunia's a nice name. I've always loved flower names for our goats.
Yeah.
And actually, this Petunia is a Petunia 2.0 because we've had another goat just like her, same breed, same color, because she's all white, and pretty much the same temperament.
Really sweet.
Really super sweet. And so we named her Petunia because, if you have a white goat like that her name is Petunia for us. So
what are some of the other, I'm drawing a blank of some of the other flower names we've given goats.
we've had a buttercup. We've
That's right.
had sweet pea.
Yes.
Sweet pea is a flower. Of course, we had Zeus, but he was a boy. You can't really name a boy a flower
it doesn't
name.
work.
Yeah, I've always just loved flower names for goats. We didn't do that with the sheep.
Yeah. So we do have some good news, ladies and gentlemen. But before we do, please don't forget to smash that like button and share the video. That really, really does help, and it helps our family, and we're very grateful. Oh,
yes.
Before I go any further, I want you to know there's two really important things that we're going to share probably during and maybe after the good news stories. One is that I've got some free music for you. If you guys like to download music or you want to listen to music, it's actually scripture memorization. I wrote tunes to scripture and recorded it with full bands and all that. Where is it they can get it?
www.bigfamilyhomestead.com/shop.
Yep. And there's no strings attached. You don't have to pay anything. It's $0.
Yep.
Get them. See what you think. That's number one.
Get them while they last because they might run out.
Yeah, it's a download. Yeah, you better hurry over there.
Yeah.
But then the second thing that's really, really exciting is later today on the channel Big Family Devotions. It's a separate channel that we do like spiritual stuff, scripture readings, prayer. We do stuff like that over there. Big Family Devotions at 2:00 Central. We're actually going to have live music.
Yeah.
We're going to do live music. 2:00, Big Family Devotions. You need to make sure.
Wait. We are not doing live music. You are doing live music with other. I'm not.
No. We've got a praise
with
and worship.
somebody else is what I was trying to say.
We've got a praise and worship leader coming in whose name's Tanya Smith, and she's extremely talented. Extremely talented. And I don't know how I did it, but I talked her into coming. And we've got a keyboard set up over here.
Yep.
Her son's coming, and he's going to play the cajon and do some music live. So Big Family Devotions.
Yep.
All right. Time
Super
for some good news. Let's get this going. Good news time. All right. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. You know the drill. Okay. Did I say I was 1 and 3? I did.
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you guys are ready for some good news because here we go. Let's turn.
Can I have a pair of reading glasses? I forgot those.
Gonna want to clean them.
I kind of want to.
Gonna want to clean them. Let me see. Here. This is the graphic that goes along with this story. Here it is. All right. 66-year-old Charles Rowe was waiting on an operating table with his surgeon, Adam Bodzen. He was slated for a liver transplant that day to save his life from complications due to hepatitis C. Time ticked until Rowe was surprised to hear that Bodzin was going out the door to get the liver himself. Meanwhile, an out-of-town van driver for Philadelphia-based gift life donor program was having trouble negotiating the one-way streets, half blocks, and diagonals of Philadelphia's city center when it became clear that his route to Thomas Jefferson University Hospital would be blocked by the Dietz and Watson Philadelphia half marathon with 2 separate points. Oh, somebody's calling. I guess I should have turned my phone off. Let's bring that back. So they were trying to get to the Thomas Jefferson University Hospital and would be blocked by Dietz and Watson Philadelphia half marathon. There's runners in the way. At 2 separate points, event organizers and police have access points for emergencies going toward the hospital, but the courier couldn't find them even after consulting police. Clad in sneakers and teal scrubs, Bodzin weaved his way at a full run from the hospital entrance near 11th and Chestnut Streets through the stream of runners in Lombard Street, another block south down, reaching the driver and taking the sealed container with the liver on ice. He zigzagged back the same way, earning what must have been more than a few curious stares before hitching a ride with the police back to the hospital on the other side of the marathon route. Thanks to Bodzin's quick thinking, they managed to transplant the liver successfully an hour after the time when a liver begins to deteriorate.
An hour after?
Rowe made a full recovery and left the hospital 6 days later.
Holy smokes.
Dr. Bodzin, you, sir, deserve
a
salute, a thank you, and a Culver's burger. I'll tell you what, you come to Wisconsin, we'll get you the full Monty.
Oh, my
The
God.
deluxe. What?
Just wondering why you said that, but okay.
I meant the whole shebang.
Okay.
The whole 9 yards. He can even get pickles.
And
cheese. I don't get it. You got a bird in your bonnet, sister?
Nope.
Spew it. Say it.
No.
Spit it.
No.
Well,
No,
no.
be quiet.
Think about this for a sec, though. So the doctor, apparently he's doing the surgery. He's the guy that's doing that. He must have been sweaty. They must have been having to mop him down.
I would imagine, but he may have cooled off in the
He
blue
showered
car.
first. No,
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, Mr. Bodzin, we thank you. As humans, we're all in the same boat. And I'd want you to be my doctor if I was on the operating table. So,
Yeah.
good news story.
What town is this in again?
It was in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mentioned a few times in the story.
Sorry, I didn't catch it.
One down. All right. This is going well. Let me get this out of the way here.
Okay, on to the second story here.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens.
This is funny. Oh, I do have to mention this story. It's a shameless plug.
I can
This
see
is
that.
corporate.
I
This
can
is
see that.
But I have to, the reason why I picked it out anyway is because at least it's something that corporations are doing that are good and not making everything woke and crazy and lame and dividing people. At least this is good, shameless PR.
I could leave the name out.
Do. Except it's in the picture.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Okay. So, spotting an opportunity to change someone's life and nab some pretty stunning publicity in the process.
That's pretty it.
Heinz is looking to get in contact with a Dominican sailor who survived 4 weeks adrift at sea with little more sustenance than a bottle of ketchup. The company wants to give the man a new boat with state-of-the-art navigation systems.
He won't get lost again.
So he won't get lost. Right. So as to avoid any future ordeals of this type. Elvis Francois was out on his boat off the coast of San Martin. San Martin? Is it San Martin?
San Martin.
That's what I thought.
In St. Martin?
St. Martin.
Yeah.
St. Martin. When the weather turned and started carrying him out into the open ocean.
Nemo swimming out to sea.
Oh my. I tried to go back to port, but I lost track because it took me a while to mount the sail and fix the sail. He said, I call my friends, my coworkers. They tried to contact me, but they lost service. There was nothing else I could do than sit down and wait. So Francois wrote help on the back of his boat and waited to see what happened. With nothing more to eat than other than
Ketchup.
a packet of garlic seasoning, a bottle of ketchup, and his lunch that day of Maggie soup.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I guess it's a thing. I don't
Maggie
know.
soup?
Maggie soup. He was rescued by the Colombian Navy, who brought him back to Cartagena for a medical examination that found that he was in good health. Sorry, this is
It's funny.
It seems like it. This is a movie, folks. This is a movie. It needs to be made into a movie. And Tom Hanks needs to be the character.
It wasn't blood on the volleyball, it was ketchup.
Ketchup.
Okay, got it.
Oh my. Heinz has put out a digital message in a bottle to try and contact Francois, to whom they would like to gift a new boat equipped with full navigational technology and to avoid any other disaster in the future. We're hoping to spread the word far and wide so Heinz can finally gift the new boat to Elvis, the company said. So far they've
The guy's name's
contacted...
Elvis?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier in the story.
I think that happens. That happens
does.
around here.
It really does.
Or we're just honestly not paying attention.
Love it.
Yeah. Elvis the crazy ketchup man.
So far, they've contacted the government of Dominica, where he lives, and the Colombian Navy, but currently have had no luck. Why is this so funny? I don't know why. We're setting this message adrift in the sea of the internet, because if anyone can help us find him, it's you, the company said. Mm-hmm. If you or anyone know how to help us get in contact with Elvis Francois, please drop us a DM.
So his full name is Elvis Francois.
Yeah.
From the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wonder. I don't know. Sounds fruity to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
I got it. It's not a very good joke.
No, it was not.
Dad joke.
I got it because ketchup is fruit.
Yeah.
Tomatoes, fruit.
Gonna have to do harder. I don't know. I'm wandering in my mind. It's gone. That John Kerry. It's Heinz money. That's what threw me off. He's married to the Heinz fortune.
Oh, I didn't know that.
John Kerry is. He's not on my top list of people I want to hang out with.
Not really. No.
He does kind of look like that guy from the Munsters.
Yeah.
The monster.
Yeah.
He's got that.
Yeah, he totally could. He could fit that role.
Well, and he's all about the World Economic Forum, and so there's that. Mm-hmm. That means I'm out. Mm-hmm. So let's move on. We have more good news stories. Just trying to get this so I can read it.
It's great.
I should probably turn this one off. Oh, this one. I honestly picked this one because I knew that, well, you probably won't be laughing after this story, but it's still good. It's a good story. Okay. An American nonprofit is helping bereaved families recover from loss, one crocheted sweater at a time. Loose Ends is a niche, yet important outlet for those whose mothers and grandmothers left behind unfinished projects.
Way to go. You picked a great story.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let me just have a little sip of coffee.
And do you have a tissue box in here?
Oh, it's over there.
Oh, that's great.
Okay. Loose Ends niche, an important outlet for those whose mothers and grandmothers left behind unfinished projects or crochet work. Their volunteer knitters finish projects left behind those who have passed away. While it seems too specific to be of much use, Loose Ends has already connected 5,000 volunteer finishers with families who have lost a knitting member, and they've been able to complete 20 projects with another 200 on the way. There's a sense of peace for me, said Annie Gatewood, a Maine resident whose mother had died recently of lymphoma during a project while she was knitting a sweater for her grandchildren. I absolutely knew that my mother would have been delighted. Gatewood told, as it happens, it took a leap of faith for me to mail away the unfinished sweater, but it was absolutely delighted when they were finished and sent back. Headquartered in Maine and Seattle, Loose Ends was started by two avid knitters, Jen Simonic and Macy Kaplan, who said that friends would often ask them to finish blankets, sweaters, or other projects left undone by deceased loved ones. That's
really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I'm going to say the name again. Loose Ends, out of Seattle, headquartered in Maine and Seattle. Okay, so if you're interested, you can Google who they are, and I think that's a pretty amazing gift.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Get involved. That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. My mom was not necessarily a knitter.
No.
She did crafty things.
She did crafty things. She didn't crochet either.
No.
No.
My grandmother did.
Yeah.
She did
Well,
stuff
actually,
like that.
I don't know that. I agree with his statement, but I don't know that. I never got to meet his grandmother.
Now, I know that there are people out here in this crowd, because I know some of your names, and I know that in the past you've shared that you do crochet or you do knit. You may want to see about hooking up with them.
Yeah.
Loose Ends, to see if you can be a blessing to people that are, going through a hard time.
Yeah.
So
I have a quilt that's unfinished by my grandmother.
do you really?
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that would be kind of a common thing. I mean, because people who are in projects, it's not like they're gonna wait to pass on and finish up the project, and then you don't plan that sort of thing.
No.
It just comes on you suddenly.
Right.
And
Right.
Loose Ends to you.
Yeah.
I salute you.
Yeah.
You could even get a concrete mixer. Come on over from Culver's. And I don't mean like sidewalk, stuff, material. Tell them what a concrete mixer is.
Oh. So you guys have had blizzards at Dairy Queen. They're very similar to that, but way better.
It's made of custard.
They don't use ice cream, they use custard. Frozen custard, yes. And it's delightful. You can have chocolate or vanilla custard.
But you only
And
have
then-
one way.
I only ever have one way. And I bet some of you can guess what that way of a concrete mixer is. I know Jess probably could, but
Yeah.
and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, but it's chocolate custard with peanut butter and peanut butter cups. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I'm very diverse in what I like to eat as a concrete mixer.
Diverse city.
I don't eat them very often because you should.
But when I do.
But when I do, that's what I get.
I don't often eat concrete mixers from Culver's.
No.
But when I do, it's going to be chocolate and Reese's.
Oh, okay. Culver's is delicious. So it's nothing like McDonald's or Burger King or anything like that. They take a thin patty of beef and they cook it in butter. Like they fry it in butter.
Force it
They
down,
smash it down. And it's very thin and crispy around the edges. And it's just delightful.
Yes.
It's on a bun with, all
the
of
goodies.
the things that you would have on a hamburger: ketchup, mayonnaise, mustard, lettuce, ketchup. Wait, I say ketchup. Cheese, that kind of stuff. And it's so good. And anytime we have in the past, and we have stopped eating over at these places because they're terrible for you, McDonald's and Burger King, anytime we would have those, we would get so sick to our stomachs.
You just feel horrible.
You would just feel awful. But when we eat Culver's, we don't. I don't know what it is. It's got to be something in what they're making or how they make it.
Well, I've asked him. We're
Oh
friends.
yeah, we're friends with the owner of the one here.
Yeah, and it's honestly, he says it's just because it's real food.
Yeah.
It's just real food. It's,
Yeah. It's
the
like what you would make at home.
The tomato is tomato. The
Right.
cheese is actually cheese.
Cheese.
It's not cheese-like product.
Right.
So, yeah. And the way I could describe it is, okay, it's not like McDonald's, like Mom's saying, but if you've ever been to like a high school football game where the best grilling people are the ones who are running the concession stand and they brought all their stuff from home, it's like that,
It's
but
like
better.
that. Yeah. It's like that. It's just really, really good. But make sure you get a single patty because double patty is
Oh,
just
it's so
too much.
full.
It's just too much.
Unless
So-
you're just having the burger.
See,
who does that?
See, Jess, she's a neighbor of ours, and she gets gut rot from everywhere else except Culver's.
And you know what? Interesting here. Wanda Hutchins
Hutchins, yeah.
says, I like their pork tenderloin sandwich. We were just talking about that. I didn't realize that. I mean, that doesn't seem like a very fast foody kind of item.
No.
A pork tenderloin sandwich. You
No.
love pork tenderloin.
I love pork tenderloin, but I wouldn't want it as a sandwich.
Well, and there's no way you could get her not to order the one thing that she orders every time.
I don't vary off of what I get the
Stay on
same
target.
thing every time I'm there. If I vary off of it, I'm disappointed. So if I'm paying money for a Culver's burger, I'm getting a Culver's burger. I'm not gonna get a fish sandwich. Ew, because it's walleye. Blech.
So here's the dilemma then.
Sorry.
Here's the dilemma then, because we were told that an hour and a half away, which is the closest it would be, an hour and a half away, they're going to be building a Chick-fil-A restaurant.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
Well,
Do you
that's where we would
go that
when-
way, go that way, go that way.
Well, we go to Culver's when we're in Medford, and then when we're in the other town, we go to Chick-fil-A.
Well,
But we shouldn't. We don't. Thankfully, don't go to Wausau very often.
oh my gracious.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to,
Well, Heather, that's a double dog dare. You have to make it yourself.
what's that?
They don't have Culver's in Wyoming, so you just have to make it yourself.
I will say the one depressing thing about Culver's is you can't get peanuts in your treats, your sweet treats.
Yeah.
They just, I guess it must be an allergy thing.
But they serve peanut butter and peanut butter cups.
I don't know why, but you can't get peanuts.
Okay,
they
so
won't sell
what we
crushed
need
peanuts.
to do is we need to keep peanuts in the car, and you put your peanuts on your own. Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Oh, fried cheese curds too. We digress.
We have totally digressed. Yes.
Let's get on to this story because it's a good one.
But it's Culver's and it's lunchtime. Even though I've already eaten.
I've got coffee. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, this one's pretty cool.
This is really cool. During the American Revolutionary War, General George Washington and British General Howe occasionally wrangled over the exchange of prisoners. More often than not, such bargaining escalated into arguing. Then, October of 1776, came the Battle of Germantown. Washington and his troops defeated, withdrew, and after a long retreat, they set up camp at Pennypacker's Mills. And there, senior officers huddled to discuss what next. Now, the morning of the 6th was engulfed in fog. It was fog so dense that one could quite get lost in only a few yards from the most familiar object. We actually had fog like that this morning. It was really, really bad. Fog so impenetrable that one of General Howe's command might have become confused and groped his way right into George Washington's camp. Anyway, that's precisely what did happen. It was late in the afternoon before the hapless AWOLer actually surrendered to revolutionary soldiers. He offered no resistance of any kind. He simply quietly stood at attention, presenting only the essential dog tag information. Observing his bearing, American soldiers remarked at the excellence of British training. He must be brought before General Washington at once. And he was. Upon their meeting, General Washington smiled. He patted the young prisoner on his shoulder and said, Where are you from, boy? The prisoner was silent. The officer who had brought him had repeated the dog tag data that he had learned outside. Washington stroked his chin thoughtfully. How might the situation be used to revolutionary advantage? To revolutionary advantage, he wondered, or this time, in this particular case, ought it be exploited at all? Anyway, while aides waited for orders of disposition, the commander-in-chief pondered, and at last he spoke. The POW was not to be released. Rather, he would be escorted to his redcoat camp under a flag of truce. An aide gasped. General Howe was in Philadelphia, by now, and Philadelphia was 25 miles away. But Washington unblinkingly continued. He said a communication party must attend the prisoner, must march forward unarmed and hail the enemy. Otherwise, the mission could end in disaster. The soldiers saluted and removed the prisoner. As they were doing so, General Washington called after them with final instructions. Their captive was to be well fed before the journey, well fed throughout the journey, and well cared for. Well, he was. No record exists of the British response to Washington's unique gesture. It was believed that the prisoner had gone AWOL during the Battle of Germantown, although not intentionally, and that once remanded to British custody, he was not disciplined. According to the mutually agreed military code of the time, General Washington could have treated his captive as a spoil of war, could have done with him precisely whatever he wished. And also, according to the tradition of haggling over POWs, Washington might have used the young prisoner as a pawn. But the commander-in-chief did neither. And there was no doubt as to why, because he, like General Howe, was a lover of animals. The dog tag information obtained by revolutionary troops from the prisoner was taken from a real dog collar. For see, despite the countless details of life and death significance which preoccupied the prospective father of his country, General Washington took the time to make the decision of which you have just learned, and to give back something identified as the British commander's beloved personal property. And with this note, I quote, General Washington does himself the pleasure to return to General Howe, his dog. Mm. Yeah.
It's probably where they got that scene in the Patriot movie.
Yeah, probably.
They probably knew this story and then elaborated crazily on it.
Sure. Yeah, because the general.
The Great Danes.
What? I can't remember the general's name in the movie, The Patriot.
Wasn't it Howe?
I don't know.
I thought it was Howe. If I'm not remembering it correctly, somebody will correct us, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can't remember, but.
Yeah.
But then in the movie, the dogs go back with.
Well, that was a funny scene.
Yeah, not William Wallace. That's a different movie.
Same guy,
same actor, different movie.
Same actor. So here's the scoop, guys. We wanted to bring you some good news. Hopefully, it has brightened your day a little bit.
Yep.
We are going to say goodbye here in a second, but don't forget free music. Go over to bigfamilyhomesteadstore.com. and /shop.
No, bigfamilyhomestead.com/shop.
Shop. My bad. The link is in the description down below. But yeah, it's music for memorizing scripture. And hopefully you think it's good. Download it to see if you think it's good at all. And then you can decide to keep it or whatever. But it won't cost you. There's no strings attached.
Yep.
And secondly, today at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, Brad is going to go live with a few other folks to do live music on the Big Family Devotions channel at 2 p.m. Central Time.
So you're going to want to be a subscriber so you get a notification.
Yep.
So Big Family Devotions, a couple hours from now, we'll be setting up, and this will be a different looking place.
Yeah.
Well, a little
really
bit.
Cool.
So anyway, that's it.
Yep.
Have an awesome and blessed day. Yep. See you guys.
Bye.
trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But those who turn aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. As the mountains surround